In a world where numbers are everywhere, for one man, the numbers 10 and 9 seem to follow him wherever he traveled. This is the story of Larry Wiggs, a native of Los Angeles, California, who traveled to 36 countries. This feat alone is quite unusual. From South Korea to Japan, Peru, Saudi Arabia, and even Cuba, Larry encountered 10 and 9 under mysterious circumstances. Learn his story. Read his book. 10-9. Get your copy today. To the Randi and Larry show. Nah, we're just kidding. Welcome to iSee109 podcasts. We are your hosts, my lovely wife, Randi, and I am Larry. And in the back, you see iSee109. That's the new design. These are the old designs right here. Just a red shirt with the 109 on it. Because that's the book. That's the book right there. 109. Okay. So, welcome to our show. Thank you guys for showing up. All right, guys. So, you know what? It's very stressful for me because I don't know if I have a weak bladder or what's going on with me, but I have to go to the restroom, and when I'm driving around the city, I need to go to the restroom. I need to be comfortable. That's the topic of today's podcast, video cast. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Public restrooms in Los Angeles. That's what it is. Because Randi knows.
I know.
Shoot, man, I'm out and about and I need to use the restroom. I need to go. I need to let it go.
He always has to go.
Yes. Now here's the thing about it though. Like, you know, I'm a man. I could just go and run near a tree, go outside, near a wall. You know, I mean, it sounds like a dog going to a fire hydrant or something like that. But no, like for men, we can relieve ourselves, and there's nothing, no big deal, you know, really about it. But you know, we are civilized people, and I don't want to go out there and do that. And I mean, there was one day, several months ago, I pulled up to a gas station, and there was a guy standing outside the gas station, outside of the building, like just taking a leak. And I'm like, I wish I had the gumption, the gall to just do what he did, because he was in plain sight of everyone. Apparently, you know, he didn't have enough time, or he couldn't wait to go into the restroom, or maybe they didn't allow him to, and he was just like, screw it, man, I'm going right here. But for me, in my case, no. I need a restroom. I need a bathroom. I need to go, and I need to relieve myself in a proper, civilized, you know, fashion. And I'm a cool dude. I'm nice. I'm kind. I'm clean. I'm not gonna go in there and just destroy your bathroom, just like pee all over everything, and then be like, "I'm out, deuces. Ooh, Larry was here." Nah, it's not all about that. I mean, but you know, sometimes, I mean, public restrooms are just a mess, which is terrible.
The worst.
All right. So, Randi, we went to the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza yesterday.
Yes.
And we hadn't been there in a very long time.
Oh, wow.
And for good reason.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So, no, we had a good experience. We went in there. Actually, we went to get some books. A book over there.
I'm sure.
For sure. Let's show the people. Why should white guys have all the fun? What a wonderful question. This is Reginald Lewis's biography, and it was published by Black Classic Press, y'all. If you can see it in the bottom, right here, this is the logo. It's difficult to see, not on our camera with all these lights and all. But hey, Black Classic Press, okay?
We've been there.
Ta-Nehisi Coates' family, the Coateses, the Coates. They also printed this book and helped me publish it. You dig? So get your copy of 10-9 today from iSee109.store. All right, put your orders in there. But yeah, we went to the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza to get this book. 2 copies because Randi and I are going to be reading that book, sharing the experience, and I think that's a wonderful way to actively read, to share the experience. Get yourself a copy, and we also have the audio book to listen to, so that's going to be great. A great, nice little experience for us to share. All right. Now, we're at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza. We got our books from Malik Books. Oh, yeah, we support black. We buy black. That's what's up. Right on, Malik Books. Yep. And honestly, I didn't even know Malik Books was in the Crenshaw Plaza. I did not know that.
I didn't either. We learned yesterday.
Yeah. So I knew it's at the Fox Hills Mall.
Right.
And we're old school. We don't call it Westfield Culver City. It's the Fox Hills. All right. It's always been that. So, we did a search on Google and found that Malik Books is also in the Crenshaw Plaza. They had the book, so we went over there. Boom. All right, so we did that. And of course, I had to use the restroom.
I did too.
All right. So we walk to the restroom. We have to find it at Macy's, May Company, or whichever one it is.
Macy's.
May Company is gone.
Really? You know that.
I don't be caring what stores are at the mall like that, man. Shoot.
Macy's.
For real? Okay. So it's Macy's. All right.
But we were going to the African American Museum. They had like a little museum on the 3rd floor.
I've never been to that museum, so I was like, let me go check it out. But it was closed due to COVID, and it's still closed due to COVID. All right. So the African American Museum is closed, but we walked over there, and it's also located near the restrooms. So we tried to get into the restroom, and what do they have? But one thing that you can expect in hoods, in the neighborhood, in our communities is that restrooms have
Here we go. Either
a code, a lock, a
bar,
a booby trap. Like you can't get into these restrooms, and it's a recurring theme. It's the same situation wherever you go. Some places are cool. Larger stores like a supermarket. Where else?
like a Target, like the supermarket,
Target.
but like Target.
All right. These places, the larger places, are accommodating, and their restrooms are easily accessible. Costco.
If you have a membership.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe you could slide in and just be like, I'm just going to the restroom. Maybe. That's a big maybe too. All right. And so we went to the restroom. We tried to get to the restroom, and we discovered that there's a code, and we didn't have the code. So we were unsuccessful in going to the restroom there. All right. Boo-hoo, right? Boo-hoo on us. I know some of you guys are out there, little masochists who are like, just hold it, fool. Take your butt back home. You should have used the restroom before you left. What's wrong with you? Oh, you can't. Man, come on. Have some compassion. This is the calmness, the calm zone. Compassion and peace and kindness, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, back to the story. All right, so we didn't use the restroom there, and it was just like, it was kind of typical, finding a code on a door and being like, dang, you have to ask someone to gain access and all of that whole rigmarole. All right, I'm gonna just leave those details like that. I'm gonna leave out many details and just leave it as that. So we couldn't get into the restroom. So we had to hold it, get back in the car, go home, and relieve ourselves. Right? That's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right.
That was at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza. Big up to Malik Books. Big up to Black Classic Press for the book. All right. But some other experiences that I'm going to tell you about right now were not as pleasant, not as kind. All right. So, and before I get into the not so pleasant story, I'm going to just mention the Normandy Cafe, Chef Josette's Normandy Cafe over there on Jefferson. Not on Normandy, it's on Jefferson. It's the Normandy Cafe, but it's on Jefferson. In the cut, man, she's been around for 22 years. And 22 years ago when she first arrived, then, I was into it. Mom and dad, well, my mom and dad were into it. They were bringing home some of her delicious pastries and stuff. And then, what happened? Oh, I left the country. Right. So, cut 15 or whatever years later, and she's still there, rocking and rolling, and she's about to have a celebration and all. She's dope. Got to check her out. Food's delicious. Woo, man, right in the hood too.
Very good.
And she comes from France, like everything. And people show up. They're like, they need to get their baguettes and get their stuff. So, promotion for Normandy. But here's what happened to Normandy, right? I go in there one day and I need to use a restroom, and Chef Josette is like, "No, you cannot use our restroom." She's French, right? No, you cannot use our restroom. However, the French accent is, and but she remembers me. I'm a regular customer, so she's like, no, it's okay. You can use it this time, but we don't have anyone to clean it, so it's a big concern for us, So just be nice and tidy and what. So that's understandable. It's understandable that if there's no one there to clean the restroom, that it's a hassle for the business owner. That's understandable, and you really want people to treat your restroom kindly and not mess it up, so that you do have to clean it up. That's another responsibility. So I get that. I get all of that, right? And so that is the way I approach the restrooms. I understand from the business perspective, like, why you wouldn't want your restroom to be used. Okay. Now, here's a situation. Here's the story that I really wanted to tell about Westchester. All right. In Westchester, there's a particular bookstore whose name I won't even mention. Forget them fools.
Don't mention that name.
So, one day, I had been to this bookstore many times. I had already been there many times before. I made purchases, and sometimes I didn't make purchases, but I had been there enough times that, if I were a regular customer, like, I'll say, I know how their business operates. I've gotten a certain vibe from their business, and it's been pretty cool, pretty pleasant. But on this one day, there was a particular cashier who I had never seen before, and apparently, he had never seen me before. So he was only basing his judgment of me upon, that particular day. Okay? So what happened? Well, on this particular day, I didn't buy anything when I went into the store. Oh, so I'm at fault. Because what I'm going to tell you now is that this seems to be how everything works out in Los Angeles, in America. You go into a store, you have to buy something, and I just don't like that. That sucks. Where's the enjoyment in life? Can't you just peruse the bookstore, peruse a book, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy your time, and maybe come back and just spend your time there? I think if you keep coming back, if you keep enjoying your time, you're more likely to spend your money at a location rather than feel pressured to buy something all the time that you're there. I mean, who wants to be in that situation? You get my drift. All right. So here we go. I walk in, and I spend 30 to 40 minutes in the store looking at a book, reading a book, sitting on their couch, and all that good stuff, right? And I'll tell you why. Because I had been there before, I had been treated very well, and they have a electric vehicle charging station right outside of the bookstore, and I was charging my car at the time. So I figured, all right, I'm gonna charge my car. I'm gonna go in, look at some books. Maybe I'll buy a book, but I'm just gonna, you know, I'm just gonna use their business, use their location as a okay, I'll use it, hangout spot. But I wasn't thinking in terms of I'm just gonna use it and abuse it and not reciprocate by buying something. But on this particular day, I just didn't buy anything. So what happened? As I'm walking out, I decide to use their restroom, and I tell the gentleman I need to use the restroom, but he tells me basically I can't use the restroom. And I'm like, okay, well, I've been here many times before. I'm trying to plead my case now. I've been here many times before, and I've had no problem using the restroom. Like, what's the problem today? He shifts into third, fourth, and even fifth gear and proceeds to tell me that there's construction happening 2 doors down. It's affecting the plumbing, and the plumbing is out, so the restroom is inoperable. My bullshit meter was going off. I'm like, really? What a coincidence. All right. So what I do then, I don't argue with the dude, but he proceeds to tell me, yeah, and you just can't hang out here. And I'm like, oh, he thinks I'm just hanging out here. Okay. I mean, I was hanging out, but I already established in my mind that I'm a regular customer.
You were browsing, right? Like browsing the books too.
There you go. Thank you. Browsing. And don't you want customers to come in and just enjoy the atmosphere?
Enjoy the moment.
Man. Apparently not, because I couldn't use their restroom because I hadn't paid for anything. And he told me I can't hang out. And um, what else did he say? Yeah, due to the plumbing. So all of that was BS. So I go out to my car. I sit in my car, just waiting a few minutes before I detach the electric vehicle stuff. And I noticed the guy comes to the window, and he's like pretending to like dust off some books. And he looks out and he sees me in my car, and he has a surprised look on his face. Like, I wasn't expecting him to be in that car in front of our store charging his vehicle. It looked like a complete shock on his face. Like, I thought this guy was just perhaps homeless, and he was just hanging out here, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was like I really couldn't enjoy my day, because that bookstore was a big part of my day. It was going to allow me to, rest away from home, you know. But
Apparently not.
apparently they didn't want that. But the dude looked surprised. So, but he didn't give me the truth, right? And so I found out 2 days later. I called him back and I said, "Is your plumbing fixed?" Now the guy remembered me and I remembered him, just by voice, just by phone, just by the situation, because that called a lot of attention, to on that particular day. That was probably the highlight of his day. It's like, man, this guy came in here and I told him, I made sure that he wasn't going to use the restroom because he said and he didn't buy anything, and so, all of that kind of stuff. So the dude's like, he says to me, "Oh, it's you." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he remembers me. All right. So he's like, "Yeah, well, you can't, yeah, you can't just come into the store and hang out. You have to buy something." And I was like, "Look, man, I'm a regular customer. I bought things from there. I just didn't buy something that particular day." And he basically admits that he lied, that he fabricated the whole story about the restroom being out of order due to plumbing. Completely lied to me. And I thought that was completely uncool. And so I'm wondering, like, why did he have to lie to me about the plumbing? And why did he have to, why did he go to such great lengths to prevent me from just simply using the restroom? What was I going to do? What did he think I was going to do? And everything that happened around that incident is very telling. And it was just like, he just didn't want me particularly, to gain access for some reason. So I'm like, forget that place. So I've never gone back. That place is off the list. But here's the thing, though. So we went back a couple of days to that area, not to the store, not to that store. No, that bookstore. And I noticed that they now have signs up that say there's no public restroom, no access, no public restrooms on two signs there that are clearly visible, right? And I'm like, okay, did I do that? I think I did.
Making changes.
Yeah, making things happen right here. I appreciate that because now they don't have to argue. I don't have to, or any other person doesn't have to have that sort of incident. But that's them basically trying to cover up their own racism. Because I'm sure if not another white person, but if another person who happened to be white went in there and they say, hey, I'm going to need your restroom. Sure, come on in. Because there's a presumption, like Paul Mooney says, where's our Paul Mooney book? Bought another book from Malik Books by Paul Mooney. It's around here somewhere.
I think it's under this book. Yeah, there we go.
There it is. Paul Mooney, Black is the New White. There it is. Paul Mooney said, if you have the complexion for the protection, okay? Complexion for the protection. So they'll protect their white interests. You did? But I don't have that complexion, therefore it was like just kick rocks. I didn't appreciate that. That wasn't an isolated incident because also in Westchester, I happened to go to the Staples. Went into the Staples and I asked to use the restroom, and the gentleman who worked there told me, hey man, you have to be a customer. I had just walked into the store. So, okay, fine. You have to be a customer. I'm like, yeah, I am a customer. And he said, okay, well, go to the back and I'll have someone come and meet you there to open up the door. Their doors are locked. You need someone to open up the doors and all that kind of stuff.
Employee assistance.
I go to the bathroom. Randy's heard this story before. She's letting me tell it. She's so kind. She's letting me tell it.
He needs to tell his story.
Yeah. Get this stuff off my chest.
It's important. As a therapist.
Yep. Talk about that, Randy.
Well, not know your story. Keep going, but
Speaking to the microphone.
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt his story, but I am a clinical therapist, so I always tell him, encourage him.
That's my baby.
And this is my baby. I always encourage him to get his thoughts out, and like sometimes he likes to keep it in, but this is important for him and for others. But
that's right.
Keep going.
All right. So I waited at the door for the guy to come through. The guy comes to the door, opens the door for me. I go in and do my business. I exit, and then I go to the checkout lines. Now, I wasn't there alone, and I wasn't there to buy anything. So I really wasn't a customer. But because I was with an associate who was there as a customer, then by association, I too am a customer. All right? So my associate was there, and standing in the checkout line, I stood along with my associate at the checkout line. The transaction was made, and we left. Okay? My associate informs me that there was a hubbubaloo, some sort of fracas or something at the front of the store because of a statement that was made. The guy who opened the door for me, the manager or whomever, tells the employee not to let people from off the street, use the restroom. And so this really explains everything to me, like people off the streets. All right, so I'm basically, why am I getting all of this this people off of the street, not doing, not being about your business, whatever. And I'm guessing it's my beard. It must be my beard. It's probably my hair, my cornrows. It must be.
Maybe
What else is it?
this beautiful brown skin.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest indicator.
That's okay. I love it.
Thank you. I love it. I love it too. Man, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking because so the guy tells him don't let people from off the street. So my associate overheard this and said he is not off of the street. He is with me. And the dude just trailed back. Oh, but I'm sorry, but I didn't. No.
Yeah.
Right. No. We heard exactly what you said. You made a presumption, an assumption about him, and okay, and you based it upon how I look. Now bro. I don't look dirty. I may not have my khakis creased. I may not have my shirts, freshly ironed, and I may not have X, Y, and Z, or a suit and a tie on. Okay, but dang, I wasn't looking bummy. Okay, I was looking comfortable, and I had to deal with this drama. The impression that I'm from off of the streets. So anyhow, that was the experience I had at Staples. It pissed me off, same as the Normandy. No, not Normandy. Excuse me. I'm looking at my notes here. I saw Normandy Cafe. We went there for breakfast. It was delicious. Normandy Cafe.
And we go to that good party in April.
That's right. But I was thinking about that bookstore in Westchester. And so you see how in one situation how these really aren't isolated incidents. These are basically two incidents that are sort of correlated. Like the guy at Staples had a similar assumption or presumption about me. All right, so that's what I'm saying. These restroom situations are uncool. Now the solution to this problem with the restrooms is what? Let's show the people. Oh yeah, anybody know what that is? If you answer that it's a portable restroom, then yeah, you're right. It actually extends too. Open this part. This has been unused, by the way. Okay. Look, it stretches. Okay. It stretches to accommodate a large bladder. Okay.
It's even shaped for women to go, right? Like you
Right.
can, the way it's shaped.
Yep. It's possible. It's possible to be used. And these are for camping purposes and travel, long distances and whatnot. So this is what you can use. Now, this may be the answer, but it still isn't convenient. Like after you do your business, you still have to get rid of the liquid, of the urine that's inside there. And again, I feel like it's just easier just to piss on a tree, piss on a wall, because where that eventually goes. See, what I'm trying to do here is I would purchase this because I cannot, because I wouldn't have access to a toilet. So imagine me urinating in here and then pouring this into a toilet. That would mean I would have to find a toilet, right? I mean, of course, I can hold on to my urine, for a long time. But I would, if I'm traveling, if I'm on the road, I would just, urinate in here and then just pour this near a tree. But, why even need this when you can just, pour it near the tree? It's just an issue for me because I'm trying to be free in a free country. And doggone it, part of my freedom is, exercising my civility. I mean, I need to go in the toilet. That's civilized. That's how we were raised. That's what we do. We don't just piss anywhere. That's uncivilized. But that's my rant for today. Yeah, so that's what it is. The portable potty Urination Podcast episode of 10-9.
You feel better?
Actually, I have to go pee right now.
Uh,
I don't.
always.
I don't. But you never know, because it might creep up on you and be like, you know what? I said I didn't, but actually I did. This is the first episode of the Randi and Larry show. We just happen to have our lovely 10-9 shirts.
Oh.
Yep. And Zen. We're going to end on a Zen note, shall we? Just say some words to the people. Randi.
You want me to say some words to the people?
Say some nice, soothing, calm words to the people.
Breathe. Take it all in. Relax. Go on walks. Think of positive thoughts. And be yourself. And live in the moment.
Namaste. Peace be upon you. Shalom. Salam. Deuces.